A neighborhood grocery store turns a new page in Rockford. City leaders say its impact goes beyond the checkout line. LoCost Grocery officially celebrated new ownership Friday with a ribbon cutting. Store leaders say they're committed to service in the neighborhood while supporting local organizations. One of those partnerships is with the Cornucopia Food Pantry, which LoCost donated nearly 2,000 pounds of frozen meat and other food items last year to help families facing food insecurity throughout the Rockford area.
It was a dream, like we were always been thinking like we should have one of the grocery store and manage it. We are trying to add more produce, more meat side, more on the groceries, so that people have more options to choose from.